Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Dearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Well, it is indeed a brand new day. I went out walkies already. I took the long way to walk around the block, which is about 3-4 miles. We have some pretty big blocks out on the farther edges of town. And it's a small town, so you don't have to go far to get to the edges. And so it's got big blocks. And so I've gone for a big old walkies. Thumbs up for that. Stopped off at Walmart for something quick. I got some notebooks. Yeah. You know, to put my stuff in. I mean, I got too much loose paper. Oh, such is life. But I made videos about the 2 windows now and my functioning air conditioner that I have turned off right now so that I can record how I suffer for my art, because it's hot. And my apartment, the long side of my apartment, catches the early morning sun. Not only that, it doesn't get any relief until afternoon. 6 hours of the sun pounding on the side of the building directly behind me. So that's fun. Also, I've been complaining a lot about my memory and worries about dementia lately. This is not even bad, my memory, in comparison. Because as much as I'm complaining now, a few years back, before I was diagnosed with ADHD, when I was going out walking on a regular city block, I would feel my thoughts being pulled out of my head. I would forget everything that I was thinking about, struggle, work to get it back, think on things for a moment, and then feel it being tugged out of my head again so that it was all gone. And that cycle would continue about 3 or 4 times every single city block for a 2-hour walk. I used to be in despair of ever being able to remember anything. And this was when I was first starting to think on all of my inside-outside razor's edge stuff. So anything that I was thinking of, having it be lost was devastating. So what I'm experiencing now with my periodic issues with remembering is in relation nothing compared. And PVC, premature ventricular contraction. My heart just did it again. Yay. I have mentioned that I've been taking melatonin lately. Oh my God, it's been great. I sure hope there's no rebound effect. I sure hope there is no long-term effects. Because again, when your body makes a substance and you get that substance externally, your body stops making it. Heart just did it again. That's one of the issues with smoking cigarettes. You have in your body a natural neurotransmitter, I think it's nicotinamide, that is like nicotine, thus the name, nicotinamide. When you smoke cigarettes, that external nicotine takes the place of the nicotinamide. And because your body doesn't have to produce the nicotinamide to function, it stops making it. So there, when your blood levels of the nicotine go down, your body, your brain, literally stops being able to function properly. Because now it can't send out nicotinamide as a signal because all the nicotine's gone. And it doesn't make nicotinamide anymore. So you get the shakes and you can't think and it's awful. And you get that fix, you get that hit, and it all falls back into place. Because suddenly you've got that neurotransmitter. Now, where was I going with that? It was like neurotransmitters, and oh yes, with taking melatonin, because I go to bed, it takes a while. I've gotten into the habit, and I don't know where it happened, of when it's nighttime, when I'm getting ready, I mean literally, I'm all done and I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. I've got my earplugs in. All I have to do is put on my sleep apnea mask and then lie down and go to bed. And I will sit there thinking about things. And not fun, great things, but just, they seem surface level, but they're not. They're about life and how I've lived life and how life is going and how I feel. And then I have to force myself to lie down, and that takes about a half hour of just sitting there and ruminating. It's not necessarily something I want to do, and in fact it's kind of annoying when I want to go to bed at 11:30 and I've been sitting there and it's 12:15 now. It's not horrible. I'm sitting there and thinking. It's just, I want to lie down and go to sleep. I don't want to sit there and think. So, but when I actually do lie down with the melatonin that I've taken, I fall asleep very quickly. Not any going, gosh, what's wrong? Why can't I stop thinking again? As usual, no, waking up a couple times. When I looked at the clock this morning, it was between 6 and 7. And that's been happening consistently. A good 5-6 hours. And then I wake up. That is amazing sleep as compared to what I usually get. So I'm going to keep taking the melatonin, which means what little my body makes, my body might not make it anymore. So I might not be able to sleep if I don't take melatonin. We shall see. But for right now, it's good stuff. I did set some tea brewing as well here. I have a cup of, there's like apple vanilla spice. I still love that one Bengal spice. It's got like roasted chicory and a bunch of stuff ending with black pepper. And it tastes great. It's got kind of a bite, but because it's not anything more than just black pepper, the bite is not strong. It's good. If you have access to Celestial Seasonings wherever you are, and you see Bengal spice, and you like something that's just not regular tea, or, you know, not a berry or fruit flavored tea. It's a nice chicory, cinnamon, and all that with black pepper in it. That's in fact it right here. Of the non-caffeinated teas, you know, herbal stuff, I really like the Bengal spice. Because of all the teas that I've been getting, I get whatever brand of green tea there is. I've been getting black tea from the, I can't even remember, Bigelow, their Constant Comment. I got some, the Bigelow brand, Earl Grey, I'm going to be trying. The only one of the brands and the only flavor that I have consistently kept, Bengal spice. It's got a picture of a tiger on it, Bengal tiger. So, yeah, I really like that. And who would have thought that black pepper in tea would be good? So thumbs up on that. Let me check my list back there, because I've written stuff down. Brain. One of the things is, I've played Fallout 3 before. And I've beaten Fallout 3 before. Ages back, when it first came out and I had an Xbox 360. I played it and I beat it there. And on that one, I talked to, when there's the Enclave, there are the bad guys, there are the remnants of the US government. Well, this is loud. I've got it on mild cooling just so you can see that it is working. And I need to block off the light that comes in on each side of it. But we had the maintenance person come in. This was a 2-person installation job. I could not have done it myself, but it is held up by just the window. Now, I'm not going to take off the tape that I've got on each side. It's just painter's tape, so it's not like destruction tape. And then this bit of tape on there is just, I put duct tape on this curtain behind it so that these parts could be duct tape onto that to hold the above that. But we did get it in place, and then this tape here that's along the window's edges goes all the way up to the very top and then across there, so that the window is taped down tight to hold that. And then I have something up above holding downward as well. That does a 2-thing job. It helps to push the window downward to make sure it's not going to go down. And if anyone decides, you know, I want to try and muscle my way through tape, you know, there's something there to make the window not go up. But it is taped. Now this side back behind there, I have a dual fan thing. It's not taped, but I have something up above it as well, in that case, just that if you try to bring it up, it goes thunk. So I have it turned down low, but it does a pretty good job. So thumbs up on that. There's the Enclave. There are the bad guys. They are the remnants of the US government, basically. And so in this game, they start off in 1 and they run in 2 and then they're in 3. But in this one, you meet the president because the president has you kidnapped and you bonk, and he wants to talk to you. So you go up and you see the president, and the president is an AI and a computer. And the computer wants you to take a modified form of the FEV virus, forced evolutionary virus that created the super mutants, put it into the water of the wasteland so it'll kill anyone that is not just human. And if you've got a high speechcraft at that point, you can just basically say, President KYS, and the president just goes, huh, you know what? You're right. Take that, do with it what you will. I'm going to destroy myself and the compound and all the years of work that we've done. Thank you for setting my mind straight. Have a great day. And then you leave, and then the president kills himself and blows up the compound. A 2-second meeting with the president, and the threat is over. Huh. Still though, it worked. And it was the same thing I did before. It just struck me as funny that you can just go, KYS. Okay, sounds like a plan. Still though, gotta love it. So that's the one I've been playing consistently. I think I made the mistake of jumping. Yeah, I did. I jumped into the DLC, and so who knows if I'll even be able to finish that game anymore. Because it's the one where you go and you're fighting in the war. Because the big thing about, of course, the Fallout universe was nuclear conflict and just outright war with non-nuclear weapons with the US and China. And there was a big battle between the two forces in Alaska. And you go in and you have to run through in a simulation of that battle. Yay! If I'd known it was that one, I wouldn't have done it. But still, life is life. It's different. I mean, it's a holographic simulation with a thing over my head, and I'm in a big old booth. So, yay. And of course, if you die in the simulation, you die in real life. Still, it's a good game. And here was another thing. One of the big reasons the feel between all the Fallouts and then Fallout 4. It had to be pointed out, but it was something that I noticed, just couldn't put words on. Fallout 1, dark, brown, low-key colors. Fallout 2, dark, low-key colors. Fallout 3, the world is dim and gray. There aren't a lot of highlights, there aren't a lot of bright colors. Fallout New Vegas, the only colors that you see are like on the New Vegas Strip, and even then you can see how worn down, dirty, dusty, and broken everything is. This is not just 5 years after a war, this is like 200 years after a nuclear war. There are no bright colors. And then there's Fallout 4, which takes place after all these, and it's bright and cheerful. There's saturated colors everywhere. The buildings have got bright, flashy colors on them still, even the wreckage and the ruins, and there's great, bright grass and greenery growing everywhere. There's colors on everything that people are wearing, and there's still the destruction all around you. It's just that now the destruction is bright and colorful instead of the way it has been portrayed in the previous 4 games. And there's nothing wrong with change. I don't want to be the old man yelling at cloud. There's nothing wrong with change. Changes have to be made when changes are necessary. But making the world after a nuclear holocaust look bright and cheerful is, once again, Bethesda is not doing the wrong thing. I'm the wrong one. They're making lots of money. But that's kind of flattening the curve. When you've got games that'll be bright, well, not bright, but good ideas, and they stick to them, but you're not going to get everybody and all that money unless you sort of make it so that the highs aren't as high and the lows aren't as lows, and you start attracting people that wouldn't play that sort of game, and all of a sudden the world is bright and cheerful. So, thumbs up. Once again, in this case, it's just one of those reasons that was shown to me, because this other person that was making the video about it was saying, why, this is one of the reasons that I don't like Fallout 4. But also pointing out that, you know, this is one of the reasons that people, the great masses, like Fallout 4. You flatten the curve so it's lower toward the masses and you make more money, but you don't get the niche groups anymore. Sad to be in a niche spike. And the other thing I've got on my list, one of them is about, because I have found that I like working on settings and doing things even beyond the limits of what I would be doing, because I can't do as much of the solo RPG stuff for the channel as I would like. So I talk about it more than I can actually do it. But even that doesn't bother me, because I like the world building that goes on in my head. It is very, very pleasurable. It's like solving puzzles, especially when, oh, well, this is why this happens. Something that you've been thinking about for 2 months, but not working on, just going, gosh, you know, that needs to have a reason. And then click, 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 click. After 2 months of other thoughts, something, click, clunk, that piece falls into place, and it explains not only itself, but about 2 or 3 other things on the way. That is such a good feeling. But one of the things that I had thought of on the fact that it is, I'm trying to make a living world out of it. Not one of those, if you come back in 400, 500, 1,000 years, everything is still roughly the same as what it was. You know, maybe altered power structures, maybe higher this, maybe lower that. but still analogously, still relatively the same. I don't really want that. I've got the whole living world idea, where in my other setting, which is still all part of this, with the inside outside razor's edge, there's things take place over a year in the stories that I want to tell, but that's just things set in place for things that are continuing, because it is a living world, a living setting. So got to keep looking over there. One of the things that happens, because there is us versus them, but then laid on top of that is a much larger us and them. Instead of how do we gather all the resources before the other tribe gathers it so we can live through the winter and they will die in the winter. It's more, how can the two tribes gather enough resources so that we all survive, us and them. And so there's mixing of culture, and the continent of Stilden with the humans, the continent of Lanlua with the Dwaylen, and the continent of Karthkog with the Hulat. And the Goya are the humans, and they have been mixing and emigrating slowly northward, while the Dwaylen are mixing and going southward, and there's mixing of cultures on the two continents because of that. There's also the same thing spreading across the ocean in Karthkog, where you've got people from Karthkog who've emigrated over and are mixing and integrating over on the Dwaylen continent of Lanlua, or the Goyan continent of Stilden. And they've been mixing over and moving on to the continent of Karthkog. Now, one of the big things that I have posited that the Orkani, one of the three species on Karthkog, the Apani, the Habani, and the Orkani, that they have been and will continue debating about is the term Hulat. Hulat means people. And not in a big scary way. You know, it's like there's inanimate objects, rocks and dirt, and then there's plants, and then there's people. That's, you know, so Hulat is just people, animals is Akhulat, not people. And so it's not a big scary distinction, it's just that with the introduction of other races, who's Hulat and who's not? Are they Hulat? Are they people? Or are they not people? And so the Orkani are having a big philosophical debate about this, because of course the Orkani, the orcs in this setting, they are stodgy, self-righteous, humorless, just absolutely, they are self-righteous pricks. So they are, but not always, they just generally tend to be, especially about their culture. And so that's why they're debating all this, while the youth and the of all cultures have just been calling the new races Hulat, Goya Hulat, Dwaylen Hulat. And so there's culture that way is just accepting, while the higher ups are having the philosophical debate. My table is a mess, so, you know, pardon me. And I've got stuff over there on top of my walker, including my lava lamp that I gotta get set up. But it's very loud because I turned that on. But the reason I needed to talk about it was this by itself is okay. This fan I turned around to blow outward. That's why the curtain is being sucked in there to the fan like that. But the moment I did this, the air just began to explode out of it. So getting the air sucked out does suck air in, and it gets blown out through that fan. So thumbs up, and I just wanted to talk about that. Culture that way is just accepting, while the higher ups are having the philosophical debate. The big the big thing about this one is because of the mixing of such, The actual words and terms are going to come from the hulat for a few things. Like the term hulat is going to become a term that is used by all the intelligent races in this world just to mean people. Us. The intelligent races of the world. If you are an intelligent being, you are hulat. You are us. And so, yeah, that Orkani word is going to be just accepted for anyone that is an intelligent being on the planet. So thumbs up, which of course includes the Elvandri, which I think I'd mentioned before, which I'm not sure. I'd mentioned how the Elvandri, the doors of this world, they've come up out of the earth all over the planet. And so there are Elvandri hulat that are also a part of the culture that's moving downward. They are not of the other races. They are independent, they're Elvandri, but they are a part of the world. So they were accepted as a branch by the Orkani and the others up in that area of Karthkog where they were. And they've been moving southward as well. On every place you can find the exit ruins, but you cannot find exit ruins moving southward into Karthkog. I mean, you find the exit ruins, you do not find any evidence of the Elvandri. So they're trying to try and figure that out, and there we go. I honestly cannot remember if I mentioned this part to try and show just what it's like to go down into the Elvandri ruins below. That feeling that you get when you start seeing things in the corner of your eyes and such. Because if you're down there alone, you may not survive. You can be in a room that's locked and have your throat cut. And obviously you did it. You're in a room that's alone in a way that no one could get in or out. But your throat's cut in a way that you sitting there couldn't have done it. And the knife is stuck in the back of the chair in a way that you couldn't have got it there. But there's also no way that anyone could have gotten in or out. So how did that happen? Or, as another example I was thinking of, you could be in charge of making sure, doing security in this one person's home, where you're given a key and you have to lock the door. And you lock that door every single night. Until that one night where you lock the door and then you leave, and then you're downstairs and you hear that noise from upstairs. So you come upstairs and you find that person that you're hired to protect fighting someone in another room. So you go in there, you get that thing that he's fighting, and you knock it down and you get rid of it. And then you realize they were fighting in that room that you locked and the door was wide open. It wasn't broken open. When you go to it, it's unlocked. But you locked it. You remember locking it. But it's unlocked. So while the Elvandri felt something, this starts off mild and becomes quickly murderous. So those people who don't have the immediate effect of that can go down into the Elvandri ruins. There's stuff to find down there. But you can't stay there long, because after a month, those first day's effects are in full effect on you now. And you're working on the second day's effect at the end of that second month. You will progressively find it much, much more difficult just to be down there. So thumbs up on that. And I'm in 26 minutes into this, so do I have... If you watched this far, if you could write Spring Valley into the comments, that would let both me and the algorithm know that people watch the videos. That would be very cool. Engagement for the win. If you're one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up and thank you. Without your help, life would be a lot more difficult. So I mean, greatly appreciate it. Oh, if it weren't for your help and this wonderful person, Alicia, who sent me $50, I would not have been able to purchase this. And I can't wait to turn it back on. So thumbs up and thank you all, you beautiful, beautiful Patreon patrons. I need to do something. GoFundMe is ridiculous. I don't want to do that, but maybe just talk up a PayPal or something. I need to gather money so I can get a Windows machine so that I can continue doing all the things that I do, because my Windows 10 machine is going to go down, and whether in a year in some October 2025, because end of life for Windows 10, and this laptop will not run Windows 11. So I'm going to have to get another machine, like it or not. And with the very, very limited income I have, I can't just, that's a lot of money. So I'll have to look into it, and then maybe just start e-begging. Still though, thumbs up and thank you. And if you have left me a comment, anybody at all, I have tried to answer as many as I can. With my nerve compression, it is nowhere near as many as I would like, and just doing this, oh boy, did I feel those sparkles. Yeesh, that's not doing good back there right now. Thumbs up for that. I try to answer as many as I can, which again, not as many as I would like. But I read and appreciate every comment, thumbs up the ones I can, heart the ones that I can't, and if I can't even do that, I'll try my best to leave a comment and explain. So thumbs up. Well, I'm going to edit, render, and all this, and I was honestly shocked this morning when I checked my calendar on my computer and it said it was Saturday. I thought it was going to be Sunday today. Boy, is my time clock off. And, of course, we have our annual room walkthrough on the 11th of this month. Now, the guy says they're not making any judgments. They are looking to make sure the infrastructure works. The windows work, the faucets work, things don't leak, etc., etc., etc. No judgments made on the way people live, and especially since the tenants? The tenants are largely older people with mobility problems who do the best they can, but so I got to get the place done. The floor is the worst thing in the world that I've seen. The people that work in the community center during the case managers, they hate the floors, and I hate the floor. It's the kind that if you leave a smudge on the floor with your sneaker, that smudge is there forever. You can't get rid of it. And in fact, if you try to get rid of it, you'll make it worse, because the coating on the floor, you will wear off the coating, and now you've got a permanent mark where you scratch the coating off, surrounded by, in the valleys of that, the areas where the smudge still is. So they're terrible floors. My floor looks like a war zone, especially since I had put down bath mats originally to walk on those, because I just didn't want to have bare feet on these floors. And the mats stuck to the floor, so I had to peel them off. So there's extra sticky that I tried to get off with everything from scrubbers to Swiffer's stuff, and scrubbed off the coating on the high parts. Anyway though, I'm going to be doing recording and editing, hopefully getting something else done for the channel as well. That would be cool. If you watched this far, thank you so very much. I don't mean to yammer for this long, but it is appreciated. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. Oh, my throat is so sore from being dry, all the pollen in the air, and cartridges. So, take care.